Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, and wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. Judith. None of what you've been saying makes any sense. Judith lets go of my arm and stares at me. Oliver? That's a pretty rotten thing to say. That's okay, I can live with that. But me being rotten doesn't change how bizarre this entire situation is. You're confessing to me, I get it, that's kind of a big deal. But why on earth would Judith, the woman so dead set on doing the sweetest possible thing in any given situation, why would that person be trying to get me to cheat on my girlfriend the day before I leave town? Because I love you? I mean, you and Violet are breaking up anyway, so what does it matter? See, that's what I'm talking about. Judith isn't somebody who would think like that. She's known me long enough to know that that's something I would never even consider doing in the first place. So who are you trying to appeal to by acting like this? Who exactly are you trying to impress? I'm not some spineless protagonist in a low-budget hentai. I'm not going to set my relationship up with Violet on fire just because you grabbed my arm and stuff. Hentai? Judy, you cosplay. You know what hentai is. Maybe it's wrong of me to conflate this image I have of you with how you're actually behaving right now. Maybe I should just shut up and accept your feelings as some sort of definitive truth. But everything about this just seems really, really out of character. I know you're mad at Violet, but you aren't mad enough to get me to cheat on her, right? I ended there, doing my best to put the ball in Judith's court. But Judith doesn't say anything. Oh my god. No way, no freaking way. There's no way you're that bitter. Jesus, Judith, really? Is that really what this is? Even after my taunts, Judith doesn't say anything. She simply stares at me, the light fading from her normally vibrant eyes. Judith? Hello? Is there a reason? You're the one that's acting out of character, Oliver. Can I read the log? Speak now or forever hold your... Is there a reason you try to wrap me up in this? Okay. Judith's voice, normally so sweet and comforting, is laced with something that paralyzes me to my core. Why are you suddenly so sloppy and imprecise with your words now? Ah, up until today, you were always so careful with the things you said to me. And we're about to get murdered. So, you were more aware of the loops than even we were to begin with. And you were manipulating the whole thing. Either you're controlling it, or you're not controlling it, but you're using it. Also, this implies that every bit of niceness you were doing was literally just lies and manipulation. It also means every scene of, like, at the pool and all that, puts a bit of a malevolent undertone under... I think it's called fridge horror. I think what you're thinking of is called fridge horror, man. To where you're looking at something that under a normal lens would not be scary, but once you have extra context, things that normally in previous context were not scary, they are now scary. Isn't that just called life? I don't think your life counts as normal, man. So we do not count as, the standard. I would think most normal people would not be able to relate to this on a real life level. I could feel your deliberation, like a gentle hand placed firmly on the back of my neck, pushing me downward, closer and closer to you with each perfect, flawless word. After a certain amount of time, you will lose. Your will was so strong that I could feel my own desires being supplanted with a singular, overwhelming desire to please you. It was strange at first, simply being in your presence and having my will erode like that, but I didn't really mind. You know what? This art style is starting to remind me of the game Demonophobia, but the way the characters' faces are drawn. I was eager to give you my time, my body, my future, anything you wanted to cultivate the person you were ultimately meant to become. It didn't matter what I was doing before. If you wanted to spend time with me, then that's what we were doing. Everything I did was in service of you. Everything was in service of strengthening our bond. And then I lost to Violet, naturally inhibiting the amount of support I could provide you. But again, I didn't mind. Not really. I was content to be your childhood friend and nothing more. After all, Violet is the one you wanted to fuck. Well, that's a little... Like, I don't mind the crass language. It's the fact that it's so fucking out of place. Emil, Ashton, and Annie never even had the chance to be an object of your affection like that. So compared to them, I had it great. There was no point ever feeling sorry for myself. But now that gentle pressure in your words is gone. And if that's gone, then so is my patience. Did you just assault me? So yes, it might be out of character for me to act like such a homewrecker. But you're acting character too, so that changes things a bit, don't you think? If you're not acting how you should, then why should I? This... Aside from the very small tinge of gaslighting that comes from that, there's also the issue of... Yeah. Why should any of us? If I have one last opportunity to give you everything you want. Those eyes are unsettling. Then why shouldn't I take it? Did we have this same scene in the previous video when I'm pretty sure the skipping function doesn't function correctly? I don't want you to act like this, Judith. You're lying. This is absolutely what you want. It's a perfect fetish for someone as low-functioning and socially inept as you. That's... You want someone completely won over by your words, somebody completely under your influence. Isn't that the easiest way to prove to them you're not defective? Judith dives forward and presses her warm, voluptuous figure against me. She moves her perfect pink lips to my ear, her breath hitting my naked brain like a bolt of steam. So just tell me what else you want, and then we can get started. What I want. I want... I want to watch a movie with you. Your choice, I don't even care. Just please get off me. I mean, get off me. Please, get off me. Then why didn't you say so earlier, silly? Let's watch some lighthearted this time. What do you mean this time? We want our last day together to be a fun one, okay? Okay. And just like that, she's completely back to normal. She gets up to find the movie. I try and draw my weight in my stomach, a mouthful of sweet tea. But all this does is turn the brick of lead in my gut into a cube of grainy, disgusting sugar. Okay. It's like you are here. I do dislike that the skipping function isn't working correctly, because I don't want to have to reread text I've already read. I find myself local over a domain of absolute knowledge, as well as a weak, pervasive chemical smell. Even if I was here, I can at least... Okay. We'll make a save. Stop skipping. I'm trying to... Okay, that's similar. We're young for a little bit today. Okay, we got a new picture. You don't say. Interesting. Any reason for that? No, not particularly. That's bizarre. I thought for sure. Okay. Okay. That's one good thing about certain artists. They can, have a bit of expression in faces. Um, what? Feeling my head boil with rage, I give Andy's words a quick thumbs up. I leave the park. That was beyond her help, really. But if Ash, she wouldn't be saying that crap. We could help him, everything. Doing everything you could. Pretty much out of time. Oh, we didn't get to talk to Ash. Well, Miss Lawrence. Hi, Vi. No, that's what I should say. I should say he was amazing. I should let him feel good about himself. Even if that's not exactly, I know I should say something along those lines. See? Nothing. Okay. Um. That's... Sure, we didn't ask him whether a huge chunk of cognition wiped out. But who cares, am I right? We did the right thing, obviously. There's no way we'd actually be punished. Maybe a slap on the wrist for going above the heads of the cops. Well, that. Um. Well, this isn't very polite. That's not the log button. Oh, but it's over here anyway, so that works out. So what is happening? I am so confused. By the way, we did, fight supernatural monsters. You literally had a fucking summon that was a dude who bled fire and spit rocks that Pokey evolved into Estus flasks from Dark Souls. What is happening? Why is it so bad that we live in Florida? What? I'm not saying we exactly killed their brains. I'm just saying there might be something wrong with them. But I get it. You're up worried, what if we did fuck up? I'm just saying it's not exactly us. I'm just saying there's something going on and I don't understand what it is. So stop making me feel like crap for saving people. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, Ash. Bullshit. So we can brainstorm if there's anything else we could do? The idea being this. We weren't expecting to find a doorway into Persona Land and a locker. So if it could be in a locker, is there a chance that there's another doorway somewhere else? It's really... How do we find them in the first place? Okay, you're probably right. Brenda, they're just chill. And I've been so busy you guys all summer, I probably didn't even notice. Yeah, exactly. It's the way things are here, Especially in the summer. The geese and snowbirds are usually sleeping from the heat. Well, definitely, it's unlikely the stuff we did in the underworld had any drastic side effects. If it did, we probably wouldn't have noticed them by now. Yeah. Killing the seed would have affected everyone we know that lives here. Even the people we live with would have changed too, right? Ashton's face freezes in shock. Right. That reminds me. How's your dad been doing after all this? I'm stopped before I can finish my sentence. The force of Ashton's fist sends me reeling across the table into a wall. The impact shoots some of the air out of my lungs, making it impossible for me to respond to what he says next. Dad's doing great. He's the happiest he's ever been. I don't believe that. Thanks for asking. He hasn't had a drop of booze since July. He cooks dinner with me now, too. Chops potatoes and everything. Okay. If it's really a good thing, why did you hit me? Hell, yesterday we even went down on patrol and got some waves together. You're right. It's like he's a completely different person. So if I had something to do with that, then I refuse to think of myself as anything other than a hero. As he says this, I can feel the air fills my lungs again. I grab the edge of my chair and pull myself off the floor. It was still like there was no justification for you to punch me if it was legitimately something you're happy about. You could have calmly explained it to me. And you're really okay with that? You're okay with such a drastic, irreversible change? Are you stupid? Of course I am. He hasn't been this much of a father to me since I was 12. That's because that's all he can be, Ash. It's the same how your waitress can only be a waitress now, or my mailman can only talk about the mail. Everybody in town is completely swallowed by the role, because that's the only thing we didn't murder. I'm happy for you, dude, but are you really okay with your dad being your dad and nothing else? Are you cool with having every other part of who he is ripped away? We are not murderers. Well, we sure as shit aren't heroes. Aren't heroes. You don't need to be perfect. Your dad doesn't need to be perfect. You didn't love him any less when he was depressed, right? Even after all this, you know he's still an incredible man. And you're still my friend. We can come back from this somehow. We can start fresh. Shut up. I am not starting over again. Fuck, man. You were so much more likable when you weren't so goddamn preachy. So you know what? I'm gonna beat you down until you go back to how you should be. This is not good. As my friend threat rings through the diner, the smiling waitress gently places our food on the now disheveled table. Without another word, Ashton charges me. What the fuck is this? Why is the background having a seizure? Okay. I barely intimidated Drush drudged me down. True to his word, he does what he does best and beats me up. Okay. Rest of the day, I make my way over to the beach, hoping I'll find Violet there. Sure enough, she's in her normal spot, painting something on one of her large canvases. The journal is not here. Ash had to be a couple hours late for a meeting today. Apparently his dad and her one of these days lately. Ash didn't come home alone. Notice these episodes are becoming more frequent the closer we've been getting in May. Violet says it could be a precursor to something called empty nest syndrome. She didn't elaborate. Judo said it could be due to graduation being a family event. Ashton's mom dead. Probably really taking a toll again. Well, Andy just thinks the man is another worthless deadbeat. Emil just called them all nosy. I don't know what to think. Every time I've interacted with Fred, he's been really nice. He brags about every little thing Ash does or he's done. He points to old surf trophies above the fireplace that Ash and his mom won back then. He tells us stories about them while his boy chops potatoes in the kitchen. It's all stuff Ash is probably embarrassed about, but never fights him on it. Even though he fights with us, he basically got everything. Maybe there's just something I'm not seeing. Ash sees it though. No, it's a long time ago I started working at BMO, he said. It's easier to keep him doing something stupid. It makes me wonder. It's better to have a father that's obviously loves his child but hates himself. or a father that has so much conviction in their own parenting techniques. Very inconsequential factor. I don't know, but part of me wonders what it's like to be bragged about like that. Maybe the embarrassment that follows the secret luxury of life. Even if it's just embarrassment, that's probably fine too. Something weird happened. It's only 9, and Ash has already mastered Violet's handwriting. He didn't give me any trouble either, he just did it. Now that's left is Andy. We can move it on to some Violet's work. Andy's done now too. I have no words. 0 words. Okay. Hey, Violet. Hey there, Olive Oil. Walked over and sat next to her in the sand. After a minute or two, panting Violet reaches a stopping point, looks over me on the ground. Oliver, you didn't have a big purple bruise on the side of your face last time I saw you. You got in some trouble recently, didn't you? Ashton kind of beat me up a bit, yeah. That is not acceptable behavior. Beat you up with his muse or beat you up in a more traditional sense? Old school, he just punched me a whole lot. Some stuff he didn't like about the Midnight Guard, basically that I wasn't comfortable with him calling me a hero and all that. Then I asked him how his old man was doing after we killed the seed, and I think that might have sent him over the top. Yep, why am I not surprised? None of them are ready yet, are they? Well, I don't think Emil had a freak out. Did you fight back? Is that why you're so beat up? I mean, yeah, kinda, but I really didn't want to. And why did you? If you didn't want to, and didn't need to, then why did you? I don't know, Vi instincts? I mean, I didn't throw a punch, I just defended myself. What else was to do? The man was charging me down. No idea. I don't see what you gained by fighting him, though. I guess. Violet stops painting and gives me a light hug, and she lowers herself into the sand. Sorry, Olive Oil. Honestly, in the heat of the moment, I probably would have done something similar. It's okay if you don't handle things perfectly. You've got all kinds of time to make things right by you. That doesn't make you any less of a person if you made a mistake. Even mistakes can lead to something beautiful. And sometimes mistakes can lead to absolute disaster. We've experienced disaster, Oliver, an irreversible disaster. If this couple Ash was really a disaster, then you would know immediately. As it stands, all this is just an hour badly spent. Forgive yourself, loss is yours, no disaster. Damn Vi, you know I love that poem. Well, loved that poem at the very least. She runs her finger through my hair, another sweet attempt to brush out these wistful, stagnant thoughts of ours. After doing that for a bit, she stands up here. Checks the sky. Still overcast then. Violet checks time on the phone. Yep, no launch today. That's fine. Just give it time. Come on, let's go home. You got a future waiting for you in the morning, mister. So let's get you ready for it. By then I go home, pack the rest of my things. Hi, Miss Lawrence. Okay. How unfortunate. What good would come of it? Ezra go back to his old self, and they'll wait for me to help him start to feed into this behavior. Slide past her head and run out the door of the diner. You're a fucking cat litter, Oliver. Ashton voice. And you're an asshole. What if I sit next to Shri's both of us? I don't care. Can't help but smile after saying it, hurl myself as hard as I can down the endless gray of the sidewalk. Chasing around for a while feels like an hour. Ashton stops running and collapses on a nearby bench. I sit down next to him, equally exhausted. Are you sure that's a good idea? Don't care, I can't run anymore. Yeah, me neither. You're still getting punched, just give me a bet. For a minute or two, we just sit there, marinating our own exhaustion. Man, I worked really hard to give this crap up. Now you got me chasing people down like it's high school again. Worked so hard, so why couldn't you just let me have this? I'm not trying to take anything away from you, Ash. I just don't feel great about how I handled things this summer, that's all. Then you should have kept it yourself, asshole. You forced it out of me by feeding me all that crap about us being heroes. Hard to keep that garbage up. You always this one once. Damn it, you are so getting punched. We keep looking at the sidewalk as we catch our breath, watching nondescript people do nondescript things. This really sucks. I didn't want it to be like this. I only wanted to hang out for a bit before you left. I know, I'm sorry, man. I wasn't trying to bring you down, but I couldn't keep acting like I was some great hero over there. Just doesn't feel real. Ashton shrugs. Real, huh? I didn't know you as kind of someone you cared about. Oh, I guess this is gonna happen eventually. Violet something, 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 something. Scared said because she could tell you were feeling it yourself. Wait, really? Are you sure about that? A roguish smirk calls across Ash's otherwise exhausted face. Pretty sure I have to think about everything a little more. It makes more sense. You aren't so big chum. Please stop Siren herself, but you two still live together, right? Wow. She was speaking for you during our last meeting. Well, we do, but so what? So she probably saw something eating away after we killed the seed. And then after seeing that, she spoke on your behalf so you wouldn't get chewed out in front of everyone. That's surprisingly insightful. It's not surprising, dude. Couples do shit like that all the time. Even my own painfully limited romantic experience, I still know what kind of stuff is pretty normal. Wait, experience? Well, experience might be the wrong word. Forget about it. Shit's not important right now. What I'm trying to say is, like, I know we've been giving her lots of crap, but Violet's still quite the war. Hey, most of your age aren't that mature. Let someone in your life that is actually into you. So don't screw things up by saying making her dump you, right? I look back to our sidewalk. Don't really have much to say anymore, unfortunately. Violet will agree to date me. We'll promise to split up after I leave for college. Oh damn, for real, that sucks. I had no idea. Still, Vi is not the kind of person to make you agree to something weird for shits and giggles. Maybe she's got, like, cancer or something. And she's like, oh, if he's, like, concerned about me long term, he'll be sad or something. So, we'll agree to break up, so we'll break up on positive terms, and it won't be because, we're breaking up because of cancer or something. Like, sparing my feelings or some shit. But to that I say, don't fucking do that. I would still fucking... But I know that's kind of the point of the fucking argument. I don't care. Everyone's like, you're being stubborn. I'm like, fuck. It's like... Everyone's like... It's like, Lunar, go to bed. You're sleepy. I wanted to record a video. As you, like, yawn every fucking 5 seconds. Tired. Pretty sure you two aren't the kind of people that cut long distance relationships. Hey. Hey. No offense. Guess not. So you're not gonna get yourself a cell phone either, right? Looks like I'm gonna take a deep rejuvenate breath to clear my head. Hey, Ash. Yep. If you're gonna punch me again, can you get over already? Not too bad to lay level, you know? I say this, Ash, and laughs like a drunken warlord. Really, is that so? Nah, I've already decided I'm not gonna hit ya. I just want to hit something though, if I'm gonna be real about it. Points to a furniture store across the street. So I need to buy myself a new pillow anyway. Audio responds. Ashton jumps up his dress, walking over to the store. Still exhausted, but waking up, I follow after my friend. He seems to live exact pillow. Yeah, some memory foam. Food. After a while, park. Ashton hovers. I'm imagining like a anime character printed on the side of the pillow. You were right about my dad, by the way. And he's completely different. Fully committed father with no self-destructive tendencies whatsoever. He's perfect, absolutely perfect. Playing myself next to Ashton and the dog. So he said before then, really okay? Man, I don't know how I feel. It works out great for me. Obviously, I'm sure he's happy. But it's not like he's ever a real danger to anyone himself. He may have brooded a bit too much when he was drinking, but he was never completely out of his mind. Hell, forget his mind. Once work was over, he was never even out of the freaking house. I think he knew how dangerous that would have been. When he's drunk, he was still a real person. He was still his own man. But now it's like a big chunk of his actual brain is missing. He's more of a cartoon character than a real person now. He didn't get to choose if he wanted to be like that either. I chose for him. I chose for everybody. I think that's what bugs me the most. Ashton squeezes pillows inside his body. Hey, do you think something was what we did to their brains? Do you think it's permanent? I probably shouldn't sugarcoat this. Yeah, I think it might be. Or at least that's how it's starting to look. Do you think it's fatal then? Yes. Everyone in town is going to die. Like, I don't know, man. I sure hope it's not. But even if it is, you shouldn't put all the blame on yourself. If I actually stopped and thought about the consequences of killing the Sirens, if I did my homework and discussed what I knew a bit more thoroughly before we went to kill the seed, then maybe we all could have found a solution that would have was addressed. And I said, yeah, we all want to romp around in their brains and be big heroes. So we're responsible for that. That's not just you. You know, it's for a while he was just standing there looking out to the water. So this stuff is true, then I haven't really grown up at all. So fucking tired. Still saw one process rushing in. Yeah, I tell you there, problems anymore. So this is really changed, have I? That's not true. There's no way I haven't changed. That's a terrible narration. I said, why the fuck am I this sleepy? Like, I'm like, just... It's like, I just... Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I'm still enjoying recording the video. It's just... I am passing the fuck out. I mean, it's good I'm sitting down. You know? I'm sitting on my bed, Indian style, with my laptop in front of me. And I am about to fall the fuck over. And I am starting to wobble from side to fucking side. Heck. I was complaining about a community post I typed while I was at work last night. I can't complain about work. I mean, it's work, it's a lot of physical labor, but I don't really mind it. There's things I dislike about it, of course, but I really can't complain. But I think the biggest thing is just like I feel heavy. Even when I was fully awake, my body felt really heavy. Even when I was fully awake and, should be at the prime amount of energy I have for the day, it just feels. Heck, sometimes I feel like a bit of brain fog, like I'm fucking out of it. Like I'm just zoning out more and more, like I can't. Like I've never been stoned, so I don't know what that feels like. But I'm wondering, like, am I still starting to feel like what fucking stoners feel like? Like, I don't know. Like I said, I've never smoked weed or any of that shit, so I really don't know how that affects people. But I know how they behave and look. And granted, when I'm at work, I can just look like my normal self, but I've seen like the way they look, they feel. They look a certain way that indicates a certain mental state. And here lately, I just kind of feel that way, which I know to some people sounds amazing. It's like, what? It's like you're stoned, but you don't smoke anything. It's like, whoa, that's a great superpower. And I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm taking a guess. Like I said, I've never smoked weed, so I really don't know what the fuck that shit feels like. Honestly, I would never trust my own mind on any sort of psychedelic or anything. Heck, in general, I'm the kind of person I find, you know, history documentaries and all sorts of science stuff fascinating. Whether it's stuff like microbiology or the cosmos, like, stars and planets and shit, or different time periods, or just philosophy or AI. I find all that stuff really fascinating. The same with, like, drugs and shit. Like, I don't do drugs, but it's interesting to read about how shit affects brains and how people, you know, just the effects different things have on people. And of course, just weird what ifs with things. Like, I know at one point there was doctors that were wanting to explore the idea of using ecstasy to help soldiers with PTSD. They eventually decided that was a bad idea. Some Heck, there's some people that think like fucking shrooms and stuff could help people with like depression. Then again, the only shrooms I've ever had is like getting a pizza with some mushrooms or baking some stuff in the oven because I'm a fucking fat ass. Like I said, even when I'm like fully awake, I feel fucking heavy. And yes, I know I'm fat. Okay. I'm 5 foot 11 inches tall, and I'm 210 pounds. I understand I'm fat, but in general, I just feel like I got fucking rocks strapped to me. Like I feel like my thinking, my movement, my reflexes, and even just everything about interacting in the world, like it's slow, like it's in a haze, like it's brain fog. Like I feel like if I'm controlling my body, I feel like the user interface is having a lag, like the internet that connects like my mind to the ability to process information or think or even just move or do anything. Whether it's at work or just at home thinking about random shit or even just trying to fuck with like, guitar, the keyboard. Heck, even when I was trying to lift some weights, I just feel like it feels like I got a fucking I don't know, jittery fucking frame rate. Like, my mind is just slowing down. And I was like, maybe you just need to sleep more. I mean, you're just tired as fuck right now. I don't know. And at least I don't have the chest pains like I used to. Was having that a little bit earlier at work today. It was in the last hour at work. I was able to ignore it just fine, but it's just felt an odd pain in the left side of my chest. Obviously nothing serious, because if it was, I just would have had a heart attack or some shit. But and of course, maybe it's just the fact that, you know, my job is a bit of physical labor, and you know, we're working with heated machines that are, producing a lot of heat. So like there was a lot of sweat pouring out of me. So maybe it's just the fact that, you know, I was having to do a large burst of intense physical effort with the job I was doing. Basically, I was having to climb up and down stuff and use a saw and then move these things that are fairly large. I mean, they're not super heavy, and I'm able to slide them on the concrete fairly well. But I think each of them is like 100 fucking pounds. Not that it fucking makes a difference. I'm not building any fucking muscle. I just keep getting fucking fatter and I keep getting weaker. I'm actually starting to struggle to do fucking push-ups, and the amount I can even do on a bench just keeps... Like, I keep having to do less weight. I keep getting weaker. And I feel like I can't think right. I always still think maybe there's some sort of supplement I probably fucking need to make me feel better. Then again, doctors would just tell me, and they've told me over and over, that as far as they're concerned, the best thing to do would be to prescribe me a bunch of antidepressants and start giving me fucking injections via needle, a bunch of steroids. I don't know. I'll say this. I dislike not making progress at goals. But at the end of the day, heck, I'm just glad I'm making through each day and that I'm able to pay the rent. And all in all, life's not bad. There are some things that bother me. I mean, there are some things that I consider very important. I mean, really one... Then again, if this wasn't the case, I really don't know what the fuck I'd be doing right now. Just because I'm so fucking far removed from the circumstance that it's just alien to me now. And that's just, the fact that what I was saying is, I am very upset that I am alienated from my son. But at the same time, I haven't really been able to be a father to him pretty much for such a long time that the idea of, like, if I were to suddenly have that, heck, if he were to live me, if I was like the one raising him, it'd feel fucking alien to me now. Just because it's just been something that and it's not like I made a choice in the matter. It's just that shit got fucked, and I had things happen with having no choice or power in the outcome at all. I still did everything I could to steer things to be the best thing possible. And I achieved the goal. My son's doing well. He's okay. I was able to protect him. But at the same time, it's just... There's no fucking reason for any of the shit that happened. And it's just the fact that it's just bad things happening or people saying bad things to me, or even just like it comes out like there's not even a reason to justify any of it. Like there's not even like, oh, something bad happened or something that's why. Like no, it's just literally, and it's just, it feels very unfair and very hurtful. Like I said, such a confusing thing to think about, and it does bother me. But at the same time, it's a feeling of mourning something for such a fucking long time and accepting that it's just, is what it is. It's a situation where you're basically grieving. It's, I guess the main thing I'm trying to say with that is, it's a very confusing, like, I don't know the best way to describe it. And I don't even know, like, and like you would think there'd be some way for me to like describe it and just, I don't know, just I think the best way to describe it is just, I mean, imagine having a feeling of loss, a feeling of your heart being broken, and then contemplating if any of the scenarios that would occur that would restore things to what should have been normal. But after everything that's happened about being in a state of grief for so long, everything about it was just like a foreign world. Like a feeling that it's completely uncanny, that it's impossible, that it's not reality. Hell, to some degree that feels that way about everything. Hell, I've joked to you guys about the fucking Mandela catalog shit. Like, take the fucking Energizer Bunny. I know this is a whole different fucking topic. But like, I literally remember the commercials being that the fucking rabbit had one big battery on his back. That's how I remember. That's how, when I close my eyes and think about seeing those commercials younger, that's how I remember it. And yet he's got, two small batteries, one each thigh now. And apparently the battery on the back thing never fucking existed. I'm like, what? But at the same time, it's not a big deal. It's just, whether it's the fact that you're expecting, like, everything seems to be crazy nowadays, you're constantly hearing shit in the news, or just the fact that we're all sort of isolated and living through our fucking TV and phone screens. But it's also kind of just a desperate attempt of us all trying to stay fucking connected. Or then again, maybe I'm just too much of a fan of animes like Ghost in the Shell or Serial Lane Experiments or Dot Hack Sign. As I'm just like leaning back and Like, honestly, I could just let my head down right now and pass out in a fucking second. It's just, fuck. And like I said, I know the Mandela thing is just I'm talking about it for laughs, but at the same time, it's just it just feels weird the way everything is in the world. Just life. Heck, I think that's a pretty interesting quote. That if you think about life, like think about your life. All of your life, except for what you are doing right this moment, is entirely in the realm of memory. Like everything you understand or know about your life, everything you know about your life, is all in the realm of memory. With the exception of what is happening to you right now. And usually whatever's happening to you when it happens, even if you're fully, aware and present in the moment and not fucking spaced out, it's the sort of thing where time goes by so fucking fast that you can barely even keep track of it then, let alone it just, I don't know, I just feel a bit brain fog, more zoned out. Like I can't focus, and I feel like whether it's my thinking or my movement, it really does. It feels like you're underwater. Like everything feels sluggish. Like my internet connection to Earth is lagging. And there's just lots of things about just life and everything it's just something feels weird. Feels off. And then of course, like I said, it was this thing about there's certain things that bother me. But at the same time, like even if certain things are restored, like if I was suddenly, raising my son, I did everything I could to be the best father I could. He's younger, living, but now it's like I understand my physical mental health's deteriorated since then. I really don't. Obviously, I would still do my best, but it's just. Then again, it's not like I'd ever even have a choice in the matter to begin with, anyway. And even I really just. And of course, like I said, there's so many things that were going on in regard to that. Like I said, I feel like my son was either manipulated or something else going on. And of course, like I said, that shit fucking upsets me. But at the same time, I'm just glad he's doing okay and he's healthy and alive and everything. But it's just a feeling of like I just can't focus. I just feel tired, and of course I'm fucking really sleepy. And currently I should be in bed. I need to go to sleep so I can go back to work. But at least work's not working me a bunch of hours or anything. This current job's a lot better than my previous job. But at the same time, it's just. I'm really fucking tired. And it's just. I don't know. Like I said, it's just my body feels heavy. And not just because I'm fucking fat. I feel like almost like Goku, like you're like on King Kai's planet. I feel like there's more gravity on me. Like I feel all of my body is slower. And just sort of feel out of it. And I feel like, especially, I'm pretty sure my tendons are getting sore and not recovering right. Because, like, the backs of my knees, my elbows, everything tends sore about that. Heck, my lower back definitely does not like some of the stuff I gotta do. At the same time, it's just, I'll get reused to it, I guess. Just, just, I don't know. But it's just, I feel tired, I feel easily hurt. It's concerning that I feel chest pains from time to time. It's just, I just not feeling good. And it's just partially a physical thing. It's more so just feeling, I don't know, just complete lack of energy. A feeling of a mix of apathy and sadness. Like I said, I really can't complain about things. And heck, when it comes to work, I really can't complain about my job. It's just, I feel like I'm falling apart. I feel like whatever it is that holds your body together is just like fucking falling apart. Like, oh, especially walking and stuff, I feel like the back of my inside of my knees, my lower back, and I guess that's what ibuprofen's for. Sometimes just, I feel like my body's really weak. Like all the strength in my muscles are just going away. And again, in general, I feel like I can't do anything right, so who knows? I'm just so tired. And I feel like I could lay it down and go to bed and wake up and still be tired and just want to go back to bed. I don't know, any energy, motivation, drive, confidence. It's like I just don't really feel any of it. Who knows? Yeah, probably something I'll just sleep off eventually, I guess. I don't know. Just, I feel like there could be like a nuclear warhead going off on the closest major metropolitan city to where I live, and I'd see a news report about that, and I feel like I just wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, oh, neat, that's cool, and then just go to bed and be like, I wonder if I'll see anything in the horizon of the sky, like the wind blowing stuff or something, which I know sounds terrible, but I think it's the best way to describe just how little it just. Oh. And again, I understand that's a me problem. That's an issue of something wrong on my end, which, like I said, maybe I just need to sleep more. I mean, I am tired. Maybe I need more vitamin C or something. I don't know. I'll probably play a tiny bit more of this than I need to play as possible. This is a visual novel. I'm just saying, I want to play to more of this. I'm gonna need to go to bed. But it's So, and don't get me wrong, I'm still enjoying playing this. I am still enjoying this game. I'm just maybe I should hold off on playing much more of it. It's just until I'm fully awake and more energy. I don't know. Well, I mean, normal lockers, Ash. All I know is probably not to say much. You have way better taste now that you aren't in high school. At least as far as friends go. But is that even good enough? Is that even enough of a change? Every change matters. Even a small, like that's one thing I try to say to you guys. Granted, I'm a fucking failure, so take my advice with a fucking grain of salt. But I'll say this. Don't worry about changing all at once, getting whatever your goal is. If you want to get better at something, or go to the gym, or get more physically fit, or play guitar, or learn a skill, don't worry about the end goal. Just get 1% better every day. Just steady progress. At 3 months old, shit we literally can't be taken back. At this rate, I'll never be the kind of man I want to be. I know that's kind of a stupid thing to care about considering everything that's happened. But I'm scared, dude. I'm scared I'll just keep rushing in and making things worse forever. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just life, man. I'm scared all the cool shit I've done in my life is just fiction. I'm scared I'll never be an actual hero. You know what? I think that's fine. I think it's more than enough that you aren't such a bully anymore. It's enough that you care about your dad and all of us and wanted to help the town. Even if it backfired horribly, I think it says a lot that you didn't want to be the kind of person anymore. And I know we like to throw the word around a bunch, but I don't even know what being a hero actually means. Do you? I mean, I thought I did. But no, I guess not. So fuck it. Fuck being a hero. It's just like you and Dad, right? He didn't have to be perfect in order for you to love him. So you don't need him to be either. You don't need to be either. As long as you don't become somebody you despise, then I think that's enough to get you where you need to be. At least for now it is. Maybe. I don't know what I'm gonna do now that all this is over, though. You mean the stuff we did in the underworld, or like summer in general? I don't know, both? Yeah, me neither. Given the circumstances, it'd be a little weird if we did. Wait, really? Really don't know what you're doing either? I'm just getting by from day to day. The goal is just stay alive, do my job, don't fuck up, pay rent. But in general, I feel just kind of out of it anymore. In terms of just like I'll be working and I just feel it's kind of like I'm just not even really awake anymore. Even when I'm fully awake. Let alone right now when I'm about to fucking pass out. And even then it's just dealing with grief of certain things, coming to accept certain things in terms of just, accepting, hey, Granley, my ex-wife was a fucking bitch and a psycho, and I was never more lonely than when I was married. But the biggest thing that upset me was just, basically my son moving out at that point. I spent the first 5 years spending a couple hours a day sitting in his room talking to his stuffed animals. After 5 years of that, I just, maybe on occasions on the weekends, I would go back to spending some time in there like that, but now it's usually like 15 minutes a day of just a few minutes of talking, the rest sitting there quiet and just, it still feels like I lost my family, that I lost my son. I feel like my son was taken away from me. And between the relationship or just the shit that I went by in school, like, yeah, I got bullied a lot in school. It's like 25 fucking years ago. But, or just the fact that certain things IRL people have said in regard to a lot of different things that are just, they're very insensitive things to say. And I don't know, I just feel like my mind isn't working right. Heck, I feel like something in me broke at some point along the line, and I don't really feel emotions the way I used to. Heck, I feel like that's happened a lot of times that, over the course of my life, just lots of different things have occurred that have just sort of, I don't know. It's like there's a lot of, like, imagine, like, who you are as a person, a big, grand mirror or something. And you'd say, like, one major traumatic event is, like, someone throwing a fucking brick at it full force, shattering part of it, and breaking out a few pieces of the glass and making huge cracks along the line. Now imagine you have a few hundred of those bricks, like each one's its own separate event that was not pleasant. And now I feel like you look at the fucking mirror, there's more places where there's just no glass at all and it's just empty fucking backboard. Like, yeah, most of the fucking mirror's broken and shattered and it's got scratches on it and the fucking reflections that you see in it are refracted and broken up. But even the refracted reflections make up less than half the full fucking mirror. Most of the mirror is just empty backboard where stuff's been fucking ripped out to where it fell on the ground and couldn't even stay against. So, like, at least the parts of the mirror that are still stuck into the mirror are at least scratched up and scuffed and showing a split fucking reflection. But the other parts is just a dark, glossy obsidian in the background, to where you don't even have the shattered pieces of the glass left. Heck, I made that comment both in community post and in a couple videos, I think, to where it feels like life is like a thing where, like, music is the best way to really be able to feel or express or share how you feel or even talk to people, to yourself or to others. And it's just really feeling that the world itself constantly looks down on you for either being someone who's mourning or being someone who's meek or being someone who's merciful. That you're actively looked down on for not being violent or greedy. That a lack of violence or greed is seen as a fucking, defect on your part. Of you failing to be a proper human, or at least what passes for being successful. Or just the fact that any goal I have, I tend to be just terrible at. Like at one point, I had to go, like, I'm gonna lose weight and have a fucking six pack, and I'm just a fucking fat ass still. On the plus side, pizza's delicious. So is Pepsi, and so is Dairy Queen. But it's just it really is the sort of thing like you feel like life is sort of isolated and alone, to where like not even your own echoes can reach you. So you go out and you actually search out those fucking echoes. If the echoes can't reach you, then you'll fucking reach them. And so you fucking track those fuckers down. But when you find your own echoes, you can't even fucking recognize your own echoes. And you can't tell if stuff has changed or it's always been that way. And like I said, a bit of a joke about the Mandela stuff, but just like, it's just things just feel off. Maybe that's just depression. Maybe it's age. In general, I don't feel like my emotions work like they did when I was younger. Maybe it's depression. Maybe it's the fact that my testosterone levels are just basically non-existent. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe there's some supplement I need. Maybe I do need antidepressants. Maybe it's the concussions I've gotten, or the time I got isekai getting hit by a truck going to 75 miles an hour and getting like a dozen plus staples the left side of my skull. Maybe it's the time where I was like hospitalized for 3 days in the ICU for swelling of the brain spinal cord, where the doctors had to pump me with a bunch of fucking chemicals so I wouldn't fucking die. Or maybe like a half a dozen plus fucking fevers, like 106 degrees, or maybe a dozen. I can't even fucking remember anymore. It's just, I feel like I'm defective. I feel like everyone in the world fucking sees me as defective. Heck, I feel like the world in general, even anybody I would consider friend or family, probably just their inner thoughts of me is that they hate me, disappointed in me, find me disgusting. And again, I understand that's an unreasonable and probably very flawed way of looking at things. But at the same time, it's a statement of just a general feeling that I have. I'm not stating that that's how everything actually is. It's just how I feel. And again, that's a me problem, but again, I'm working on that. It's just, maybe I just need to sleep more. Even I already feel like I'm sleeping more than I have in a long time. Then again, that's not a well qualified statement. Because in the past, I wasn't sleeping well at all. Heck, even up till about a year or something ago, I was usually sleeping just a few hours a day. And heck, when I was married, I was sleeping like 1 hour a day. And in general, I understand. Some of it's a bit of being jaded, some of it's paranoia. And I've had paranoia my whole life just because I've had, well, certain things that reinforce that. It became a bit of a survival trait. But at the same time, it's also constant fucking anxiety. It's just, it's just a feeling that, one, physically I feel like my body's moving slower. Physically, my body's sore. I feel like the backs of my knees and my elbows, my lower back is just, it's weak. I feel like my body is heavy. I feel like whatever is holding my body is falling apart. I feel like physically I'm falling apart, and then my body, it just keeps getting weaker. And as far as mentally, I just, really feel all there. Maybe that's just a temporary slump. I mean, I've always had a bit of depression my whole fucking life. So maybe it's like an ebb and flow sort of thing. I mean, there's always been times where things are better or a little bit worse. And this isn't exactly a very worse thing. It's just different. So it's more of a different feeling, but at the same time, it's just, I wouldn't say it's necessarily super bad. I mean, I've been much more depressed than I am now. By far. So, that's not what this is. I don't know. Maybe other people feel this way. And I guess I had to apologize for anyone who's had the patience to listen to this video this long. I mean, I honestly do have no fucking clue why you're here listening to me ramble like this. But I thank you, I guess. I appreciate that you, well, in this fucking busy world, you chose to spend your precious time that seems more fucking fleeting as every fucking moment passes by. You chose to spend that time listening to me. So, for whatever reason you decided to do that, thank you, and I hope it was worth it to you. And maybe I'll actually be more energetic and happy and awake in future videos. I know I've had a few videos where I was kind of sleepy, saying I should get a Red Bull or something. But even then, I don't think any of those really went with this. Then again, there was a time I made a 13.5 hour long video that did not get uploaded to YouTube. Because YouTube would not allow a recording of greater than 12 hours. And then after that, I decided not to upload it just because. I mean, I think I spent it was like 3 years ago I uploaded that video. And I think I spent a good solid 5 hours straight crying and laughing at screaming volumes. Like something out of a fucking movie. And granted, there's times I laughed, cried a bit in a few videos. But nothing compared to this. It was like, at least the other stuff was lighthearted. This was, I mean, honestly, after like 5 or fucking hours of it, apparently there's a limitation how much stress the human body can handle. Because my body just started getting sick and I just started vomiting. And I passed out briefly too. But it's just, I deleted that stuff because whether it's in the crying or in the laugh, screaming and crying I was doing, I didn't like the sounds I made. It made me feel very sad listening to. And I'd rather never hear those sounds again or feel that way again. But I guess that was just part of me opening up and venting about stuff. Heck, I made a video once called Open Up where I spent like half hour sitting in my car singing like Stained, you know, the band Stained, in my car. It was like the worst fucking audio you've ever fucking heard. It's just, heck, maybe I'll put a link to that in the description, but it's just, be prepared. It's horrible audio in every way imaginable. But I'm just saying, everything's gonna be okay. And especially if like you're listening to this and you feel the same way, just, it'll be okay. I don't know where the fuck any of us are gonna go from here. Like, life is just, feel like it's falling apart, feel like my mind can't focus. And I'm just sort of like not really able to be present in the moment. Like if I'm even in the middle of working, I feel like more like it's a dream. Like it's just like it feels like in the middle of like I'm at work doing my job, and the emotional feeling you have is like what you're actively doing at work. You feel like you're thinking of a memory, like you're not actively there yourself. Just you're just remembering it as it happens. I don't know. Maybe I'm just low on iron or something. Maybe some selenium, vitamin C, some vitamin E. Find a new anime that's cool or something. I don't know. I do need to go to bed though. Everyone's like, this is a terrible video. It's like, it doesn't even count as existential crisis. It's literally just. Because existential crisis, you're like having some huge emotional thought about what your place is in the universe. But this isn't that. It's not thinking about your place in the universe. It's just physically you feel like your body's falling apart. Your body's sore. You can't build any muscle. And you just tend to feel weaker physically. And you just feel just, I don't know. And everyone's like, "Here, this is so fucking articulate." Like, I don't fucking know, man. I just. Heck, if this is relatable to anybody, then maybe you could put it to words better than I can. I don't know, I just don't really. Everyone's like, that's such riveting commentary, I know. As you just like, it's the sound of Lunar sighing repeatedly. As he just sort of spaces out. At least I'm not falling asleep. But I will need to do that soon. I will try to avoid recording anything unless I feel like I'm more awake. So I'll just probably need to get some more sleep. Aren't you going to college, my dude? Oh, right. Well, that's what Miss Lawrence says I should do at least. And Mom and Dad are always on board with all of our ideas anyway, so. Maybe you should try and give your folks a call or something before you leave or something. Maybe that would help patch things up. There's no point in me doing something like that, Ash. Patched up or not, some things just aren't worth the risk, you feel me? Don't worry, I'm going to college. That should be more than enough to keep them distracted for a while. Besides, I'm pretty sure I lost their phone number back in June. I couldn't contact them if they wanted to. And they don't? Not every father turns to the drink due to an all-consuming concern for their amazing badass of a son. Some dads know, some parents are just kind of there, like broken pottery. They don't feel that deeply. They can't hold anything. They just take up space. It's whatever. Right. You're never gonna actually own a cell phone then, are you? Probably not, no. Figures. And you're not coming back once you leave either, right? I don't know what I'm gonna do after college, to be honest. But yeah, it's not likely. Not very manly to run away from your problems like that, Captain. Kinda makes you look like a coward, doesn't it? What an absolute blessing it is, then, to no longer worry about being a coward. And that's the thing. That's funny. There's people that don't judge somebody on that kind of shit. There's people that be like UFC fighters and, friends and girlfriends and all that stuff would probably break up with a person and be ashamed of them if they lose a fucking fight. Hell, I consider Mike Tyson one of the greatest boxers to ever live. And yet you had people saying that even though he lost, they still support him. What? Heck, you even had a family member saying, oh, he's still this relative to me, I still care. But what the fuck? Then again, I'll say this. Even if you're a bad boxer, it's still admirable that you get in the fucking ring. Anybody that's willing to get in the ring at all, that's admirable. But it's just, I don't know, constant expectations and stuff, unrealistic at that, and fucking judgment. I don't know. Maybe it'd just be nice to feel more of a feeling of, I don't know, acceptance, of welcomeness, of feeling safe, of feeling fucking cared about. As opposed to a feeling of depression mixed with numbness, as well as to the point of just sort of would say struggling to be present, but I'm hearing this fucking kick-ass music, and it's making me think of old school Black Sabbath. I think the song A National Acrobat. That's what this riff reminds me of. It reminds me of Black Sabbath, A National Acrobat. Heck, I remember Ozzy did a song called Snowblind that eventually Serge Tankian of System of a Down did a cover of. It's pretty cool. Heck, I still think, I know Disturbed's done covers of a band called Genesis. I think it'd be cool if Disturbed did a cover of... There's a song that's track 16 of the very first Pokemon movies soundtrack. The song is called Brother My Brother, and it's by the band Blessed Union of Souls. Then again, in general, I think Korn, Infected Mushroom, Disturbed, and System Down, all pretty good bands. Strongly recommend them. But I'm just saying at the end of the day, to anybody out there, just be true to yourself and do what you think's right. Don't worry about if people call you a fucking coward or a failure or a weakling or whatever. Do what's best for you. Also, I suggest the movie The Odyssey. But anyway, do what's best for you and just... don't fucking give a shit about that. At the end of the day, that's just people insulting you. That's people just trying to guilt trip you. That's people that feel the need that the only way they can validate their own fucking existence is by proving you wrong, thus they must be right, because they gotta be right about everything. Or some people are just outright fucking control freaks. And some people, well, some people hate their fucking lives, because I can tell you this, I don't hate my life at all. Granted, I got some depression, and I feel sadness and grief over certain things that, yes, still bother me very much. And physically and emotionally, I just sort of feel out of it at the moment. But I'm still very grateful for my life, for everything God's given me, for every blessing I have gotten. I'm grateful I was married in the first place. I'm grateful that I was able to have a son. I'm still very happy that he's doing okay and well and happy wherever he is. Because really at any given moment, I don't know where he is at the moment. Like, I know where he lives, but like, is he at home at the moment? Is he watching something on TV? Is he doing stuff at school? Is he playing with a toy? Is he thinking about me? Is he happy? Does he miss me? Is he wanting to see his dad and he's not being allowed to? Or does he not want a dad anymore? You know, all that stuff. And it's just... And of course the issues with my own family, my parents, my friends, life, work, my own, you know, self-confidence about myself in terms of not being as good at, you know, the goals I set, or even good at the hobbies I have, or just the general fact that I have a complete lack of any sort of relationship or love or affection in a long ass time. Heck, I don't remember what a hug feels like. And I feel like in general, if anybody were to suddenly be nice to me or have positive attention toward me, I'd feel like, you know, it's gotta be a lie. It's like that, you know, it's a setup for something, for some way for someone to hurt me. So, but at the same time, it's just like, it is what it is, but I'm still happy for, like, I have sadness and depression, a bit of a numb, almost like dissociative feeling about shit. But I'm still happy for everything I have. I have all this awesome anime, books I really enjoy reading. I enjoy playing this game, even though I was earlier just like passing the fuck out, and I do need to go to bed. I also need to take the clothes out of the washing machine, put them in the dryer. And yeah, I do have to work quite a bit. And the job is a bit of physical effort. But you know what? That's fine. Like I said, life isn't perfect. But my ear is itchy. But I'm still grateful for everything that God's blessed me with. And there's still a lot of things I do feel happy about. It's just that my emotional response to things isn't really the same. So that does, you know, is a bit concerning that just something isn't right with me. And I'm not sure if, like the thing with this game, like, I don't know if it is reversible. I don't know if it's fixable, like feeling out of it. Maybe it's just a temporary slump and an emotional state. Who knows? Maybe it's just a lack of actually, you know, because I do feel like that's the thing that matters to a lot of people, and it matters to me too, as far as, you know, having someone who loves you or respects you, appreciates you, gives you affection, someone who you could be around and feel completely at peace, that someone who would, you know, accept you, care about you, there'd be no fucking drama, and there's no issue of having to walk on eggshells, like, oh, if you say the wrong thing, all of a sudden this person's going to hate you and potentially become physically violent toward you. You know? I think it's just a mess of a lot of very conflicting thoughts and just... But hey, at least I'm doing one thing I really like, and that's annoying all of you by making these videos. And here's the thing, most people would consider it, you know, impractical by any sense. You know, like, what's even the point? You don't make any money. I'm like, I don't care about that. That means, even though I really could use money, you know, it means nothing to me to make money off this channel. Because that's not what I'm doing it for. Obviously, money would be important. But that's not what I'm doing the channel for. It's It's a place to talk without a filter, just to be myself, regardless of how uncharismatic, boring, annoying I am. That I'm just some crazy random dude talking to his computer. This is just a place for me to talk without a filter, to just be myself, to just talk about whatever, and probably everybody out there hate me for just being the horrible person I am. But that's fine. I don't care. And neither should any of you. So, at the end of the day, even if everyone seems to hate you, or be disappointed in you, or be disgusted with you, regardless of what kind of shaming language, or try to shame, or, emotional manipulation people try to throw on you, and try to shame you to make you behave and make you think the way they do about life. Don't worry about it. Just be yourself. And above all, love yourself, be kind to yourself, love others, be kind to others. Be friendly and happy. Take care of yourselves. But if people want to try to shame you, or try to make you feel ashamed, or say shaming things to you, or treat you like shit, or try to make you feel embarrassed, or ashamed, or guilty, or scared, or some shit, don't let that shit change who you are. Heck, this world constantly wants to fucking beat you down and feel like it's constant stress and worry about, how you gonna pay the rent here and get from paycheck to paycheck, and what if this goes wrong or that goes wrong or this is bad. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. This world wants to beat the fucking shit out of you. And take, like I said, if you have, I'm not saying you guys prefer to be doormats. Obviously don't be a doormat. But I'm saying if you have gentleness and kindness in your heart, if you have genuine love, if you truly have, a contrite spirit that is full of just kindness and mercy, and just someone who just wants to live their life in peace, and yes, having all the love and affection in the world for and appreciation for those in your life who you care about, then just be you, man. Obviously, yes, work for goals and shit, but at the end of the day, that should be your goal in life. Just be you. If people want to try to shame you about shit, or say bad things to you, or try to make you feel ashamed, people use shame and shit on you, don't fucking worry about it. It doesn't matter. So, whatever it is going on, guys, you'll get through it. It'll be okay. And you are fine the way you are. You are not a failure. And there's nothing wrong with you. There is something wrong with the world. But at the end of the day, don't worry about it. You do what you need to do. Like I said, as long as you don't hurt yourself or anybody else, express yourself however you need to. And at the end of the day, whether it be love or introspection or even meditation about certain things, but whether it be a life of introspection or just chilling and playing a game and listening to some cool anime, or finding some meaningful social interaction that valued to you and to where that person values you, and a place where you feel safe and respected, that's good. But all in all, it'll be okay. It'll be good. Don't worry about it. Whatever's going on, you'll get through it. It'll get better. And you are... You are gonna be just fine. So, yeah, just believe in yourselves, okay? Sorry I went on a tangent. Just saying, yeah. Like, basically, if the world out there calls you a coward for something, just don't fucking care. They want to shame you in any way, call you a horrible thing. Don't worry about it. After all, you know how shit is. So, so what's the point? So, don't let that shit get to you, okay? Don't let that shit get to you. So, if you're thinking that, like, just know that Lunar D8 tells you it'll be okay, man. So yeah, Ashen looks my way and smiles. As a former account myself, I don't think I can be friends with somebody so wimpy. Some of that might end up rubbing off on me after a while. And in the long run, that's way too risky for me and my old man, know what I mean? Ashton stands up and lifts me up off the ground with his uninjured hand. Thanks for that. You might be a wimp, but you could have easily gotten up by yourself. No need to thank me, right? No, I mean, thank you for making this so easy. I was certain that saying goodbye to everyone was going to turn out much, much worse than this. Oh? Hate to break to y'all, but it's probably not going to be this easy for anyone else. Just be grateful that I'm not the type of man to get bogged down by this crap in the first place. Can't say the others will be so cool about it, though. Ash hooks his arm around my neck and gives me a firm hug. But I know you'll figure it out. Just keep it real. Remember what's real. You do remember, right? Thanks for letting me be a part of all this. Stay cool, you fucking wimp. Yeah. Goodbye, Ash. Thank you. Thank you so much. Goodbye, Oliver. Oh, and tell Violet to say goodbye too, okay? Okay. Okay, will do. And make sure to remind her that there's going to be another launch tonight. Should be around 6:45, I think. Pick somewhere soft to watch it with her this time, alright? And with that, Ashton leaves, flinging the pillow he just bought over her shoulder, walking south toward his father's house. Journal page. Yay. After saying goodbye to Ashton, I make my way over to the beach, hoping I'll find Violet there. Sure enough, she's in her normal spot, painting something on one of her larger canvases. Oh, hey there, Vi. Hey there, Olive Oil. I walk over and sit next to her in the sand. After a minute or two of painting, Violet reaches to a stopping point and looks over at me on the ground. Oliver, you didn't have a big purple bruise on the side of your face last time I saw you. You got into some trouble recently, didn't you? Yes and no. Aston punched me fine. We worked things out pretty quick. Weirdly quick, actually. He punched you. Christ on a cracker, why? We just had disagreements about the Midnight Guard, mostly. But we talked it out, and I think he's cool with me leaving now. But besides, he placed a paintbrush down in a cup of murky water. Okay, I might need a bit more context than that. Do you think you could elaborate on what you mean by disagreements? So 30 minutes telling her pretty much everything Ash and I did today. Violet listens, clearly over the moon to have me talking to her normally again. I see then. So if he really forgave you that quickly, then it's likely what happened at the crab bucket was an extinction burst. An extinction burst? Wait, where have I heard that before? Miss Wilson's class, maybe. She taught us about it last year, remember? It's a period of time when a problematic behavior gets really, really extreme right before it gets better. There's more common in children for deeply rooted behaviors. Extinction bursts can happen in adults too. Kept saying Ashton didn't want to hear her, so he needed to get you to stop talking in order to feel comfortable again. So he tried to solve this problem the only way he knew how. Violet rubs her forehead and sighs. Let me ask you this. You said Ash felt the way he is regressing by threatening you, right? Yeah, he something. I pushed a button. He kept saying that he worked really hard to change who he was and didn't like that I was making him act the way he did in high school. This was right after he unchased. My stomach hurts. Don't know why. Almost immediately. Right. He didn't end up punching you a second time, like he said he was going to either. Did he punch you anything afterwards? Nope. All he did was buy himself a pillow. He didn't punch a pillow after he bought it. No. If anything, he spent most of our conversation hugging it. He was hugging it? And then we said goodbye. No bad blood whatsoever. That proves it then. Comfort. So much of the time. That's all any of this is ever about. Ashton probably didn't punch anything because there was no longer any value in that behavior. It was no longer something that would bring him comfort or make him feel empowered. Someone was certain it was an extinction burst. Is it ethical to be sizing up our friends like this, Vi? Is it better to ignore how they might be feeling after experiencing something so intense? It's not like I can ask Ash how he's really feeling anymore. An educated guess or two is about all I'm capable of at this point. Besides, that's all they are, guesses. I'm not foolhardy enough to assume my personal perspective on him is a definitive portrait of reality. Right, of course not. But the two of you are pretty lucky as far as conflicts between friends go. I think this is probably the best possible outcome. Not the best, really? No, there's no way that's true. How come? Well, I spend a second or two trying to put my thoughts into words. Because a longer lasting friendship would have been way more helpful to him in the long run. Me ducking out of his life this early isn't exactly doing him any favors. I say this, and Vi moves in closer to me, speaking in a voice so quiet I can barely hear her over the sounds of the ocean behind us. You don't really believe that, do you? Olive, do you know sometimes? A thing is more powerful in the moment, right before it dies, than at other points in life. Ashton was grateful for what you gave him in that moment, so he gave you what you needed to. None of what you're going through right now is a disaster, it's a gift. He's giving you the chance to move on. Is that another one of those educated guesses of yours? What else could it be? We're all just clumsy artisans, trying our best to sculpt this vague stuff of ours into something coherent. Don't worry too much, Olive Oil. Of all of us, Ashton is probably the best equipped to handle adulthood. Even if he's nervous about it, he's not going to let anything slow him down. He's just that kind of guy. And there is an earthquake. The ground around us begins to lightly rumble. No way, could it be? I know this feeling, a slow grumbling force mushrooming up from the south. Over there, Oliver. Look, look. Violet points down the beach and starts hopping in place. Sure enough, it's another rocket. The boys and girls down at Cape Kennedy are launching another rocket into space. That's weird. Isn't it still a little too cloudy for a launch? Who cares? Look at it go. Look at it go, Oliver. Ah. There's not a thing on Earth that can stop it now. As Violet's beloved's construct of metal and flame shoots itself into the sky, her fervor fades into a silent wonder. Rockets, huh? You know, I really hate seeing those stupid things just go on up like that. But I guess it's fine. It's fine as long as she can be herself again. No matter what I may be feeling right now. I shouldn't let it get in the way. Violet should be allowed to enjoy this moment. She should be allowed to be happy. That's the only thing that really matters to me right now. That's the only kind of justice I think she really needs. And besides, I'm plenty happy right now. It's more than enough just to be able to see her like this. I'm happy just to look at her. And then just like that, it's gone. Another lucky fool has freed themselves of Earth's heartless gravity. Wow, incredible. It's been so long, I completely forgot how amazing those were. I wonder if anybody else got to see it. I should call Judith and... Oh yeah, right. Hey, Oliver. I'm really proud of you and everything. But I don't know how the others are going to end up feeling about this. Feeling about what? Ashton letting you go, mostly. They might get kind of pissy once they hear about it. Think they'll have quite a bone to pick with you once they catch wind from what happened. By the time this, and all of a sudden I remember something crucial. So about that. Funny thing is, after we're done talking, Ash actually told me that he wanted me to say goodbye to you as well. But that doesn't make any sense. I'm the one that leaves town tonight. You aren't going anywhere. Are you? I say this, and Violet's eyes widen in shock. No? Nice music. I'm not going anywhere. At least not intentionally. Helmus, I'm going to leave you guys with the music for a moment. I'm going to go take the clothes out of the washing machine and put them in the dryer. You guys enjoy the music. Probably also going to use the bathroom. I'm back, guys. By the way, I know I've said this about a lot of games, but I'd like to compliment the person who made this music, as well as the person who did the backgrounds, the person who did the story, and the person who drew and even conceptualized all of these character models. Ashton might be, though. Shit. It's already starting then. I thought you'd need more time. Wait, what time is it? Violet frantically reaches into a bag and pulls out her phone. She fumbles, dropping the phone once or twice in the sand before finally getting it open. Holy shit, it's already 7? That's not right. That can't be right. Violet? We've been talking too long here. We need to get you home now. Okay? Violet stands up and violently jerks me toward her. Wait, what about your stuff? Leave it. It's not important. It'll all be there in the morning anyway. Let's go. Why? Just trust me, dude. I mean... Look, I'll tell you more when we get home. But right now, we need to run. Please. I do as I'm told and run as fast as I can back to Violet's house. Violet, normally one to trip over feet, sprints in front of me with precision and purpose. We make it back to Violet's house just 2 minutes before Miss Lawrence is supposed to arrive. Okay, Violet, we're here. Now, what the heck is going on? Why was any of that necessary? Violet, hunched over and panting from exhaustion, slides over to me and puts her hands on my shoulders. Oliver, listen to what I'm about to say very carefully. It really doesn't matter if you don't know what's going to happen next. It's fine. That's fine. You don't have to know what's going to happen. Just keep moving forward until you come out on the other end. Are you talking about college? Yes, whatever. Yes. Just listen for a second, okay? I know I might have said some stuff before about taking it slow, but the truth is, you're in way too deep now. You've already made your choice, and now you gotta push through. You need to reach escape velocity. If you stagnate and end up doing things halfway, you might as well be dead. Wait, what? The things might get a little weird from here on out. And you're probably going to end up being really uncomfortable at times. But stay committed and do what you need to do. Not necessarily what you want to do. It's the only way you're going to be satisfied with what's to come. And once you're done, once you're on the other side, once it's... Judith hands me a sheet of paper after school. Apparently her and the rest of the student council wants all the seniors to vote on how they do graduation this year. Okay. No one wants to go the way you did. Every switch inside you was flipped. The small light bulb of your existence, cracked with a whimper, frothing thunder. None of us will make it to heaven. Oliver and I move a caravan of toy trains through the sand. We have an established system of play. He builds some kind of legendary mountain, and I drive a fistful of locomotives through his grainy makeshift world. Afterward, there's always a devastating explosion. He screams a shell-piercing scream of what I can only assume is joy. Dolly's kid here is the defective little robot, so it's the same shit every time. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand. Always a devastating explosion that gets all over my damn shoes. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand, always an explosion. We repeat this cycle, ad infinitum, until a rather large blast shoots some sand into the poor kid's eyes. Dad, it hurts. It hurts so much. Help me, Dad, help. He asks for my help. Take the boy by the hand and feed his quivering form to the ocean. The salt water we use to flesh out the sand is unusually cold for the summer, but it does the job just fine. He screams his normal scream now. Whatever. Boys gotta learn that sometimes there's only one way to do things. Might as well learn now. Experimental education and all that. Because it's only after his face is drenched and his vision clean that we can now truly begin to understand each other. And after all, a little water cleans everything. Hey, Dad, if somebody really loves you, then why would they leave you? If they really love you, then why would they leave? Dad? Oliver? Oliver! Nighttime? What do you mean nighttime? The sky is blue. Emil stands before me against the backdrop of choppy, volatile ocean. His expression, though normally composed and confident, is that of a nervous child. Emil? Wait. Where's Ashton? Exactly, he just left us here. He left Siren's call without even a day's notice, like none of us ever mattered to him in the first place. That's why I called you here. I can't make sense of this by myself. Emil pulls a small white envelope out of his pocket. To my knowledge, Andy and Judith received one as well. Did you or Violet happen to get one, perchance? I don't know. I never even get the mail. That's normally something Violet does after she takes her evening meds. Then I suggest you read this carefully. Really look at it over too. I was hoping you'd be able to spot something I might have missed. For Emil to have to imply this means he cannot solve this without my help. It must be humbling. The way he is speaking as if he earnestly desires my perspective, it almost reminds me of Violet in a way. I give him a decisive nod before grabbing the letter. A sheet of red construction paper limply hangs out of the top. I do as the best I've been told and read it carefully. No way. I look over the note several more times. It's clearly written by Ashton. The handwriting, grammar, and spelling all imply as much. Even so, this doesn't make any sense. He says he went to college. That seems out of character. Wait, did Ash ever talk about college? Not to my knowledge, no. College wasn't something he seemed even remotely interested in. What about his dad? You think he'd know anything? Apparently he moved out as well. Are you serious? Why would I lie about this? Emil's eyes dilate with panic, leaving no room for anything resembling deception. What's more, they didn't even bother locking the door to their house. There was no furniture, no beer cans, no garbage. There wasn't even any food left in the fridge. Emil begins gesturing to himself, like he's frantically trying to stuff his words into some kind of invisible box. His phone number hasn't been working either. They just vanished. No signs of a struggle, no signs of life at all. Just gone, like the universe simply didn't have a need for them anymore. Emil isn't even trying to look composed at this point. His demeanor is that of a mad scientist, clawing to the air for some vital answer that's barely out of reach. What about the underworld? Could this be our fault somehow? Is there any strange activity happening back there? No, I've already checked. The backside of the locker is still barren. Even where Ashton's house would have been. Maybe a really powerful siren made him sleepwalk or something? Was there any signs of siren activity at all? I've already looked everywhere for him. And there's nothing. Nothing. Oliver, you're only recommending things I've already considered. Give me something new to work with, please. Emil isn't acting how he's supposed to. He's panicky. Clearly reaching the limits of his desperation. I look over the letter one last time. It is a little weird that he doesn't even say what college he's going to. He just says, I'm heading out to college. There's no clues to his actual destination. You can't even tell if he's going out of state or not. So maybe college is code for something else? Have you compared your note with Judy or Annie's? Maybe there's some kind of message here that he didn't want anybody else to see. A splash of color returns to Emil's eyes. He snatches a slip of paper from my hand and begins frantically looking over. Do you think Ashton is capable of something like that? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe it's not even that complicated. Maybe we just need everyone else to make sense of it. Did you read that note that Andy and Judy got? No, not yet. I was in a bit of a frenzy after I read mine, I'm sad to admit. But if your hypothesis is correct, then their notes alone wouldn't be enough to decrypt a hidden code. We would need Violet's note as well, would we not? Did you have any idea as to her whereabouts? No, I actually haven't even seen her today. In fact, this one hits me, an extremely obvious detail that I should have been immediately cognizant of. It's a detail that has turned this otherwise mundane environment into something deadly, like stepping into quicksand during a morning jog. And much like a carefree jogger falling into quicksand, I immediately began to panic. She's normally right here. She's normally here at the beach, right where you're standing. This isn't right. She's supposed to be here. Where is she? A heartless gravity pushes me deep into the starving earth. I can feel the sand fold over my toes, a once normal sensation now clinging to my skin like a parasite. If this keeps up, if I stay here any longer, I'm going to end up being useless to her again. I have to get out of here. I have to find Violet. Oliver? I sprint away from Emil and up to the boardwalk. I hear him shout something that sounds like, "Have her call me immediately," as I reach the top of the stairs. You might have to wait a little bit on that one, dude. Did she have a seizure? Huh. Oh. Okay. Is this where the rockets are? Oh, it's a school. It literally said that. Normally, I wouldn't risk breaking into the school during the day, but this is an extreme circumstance. I climb through a normal spot on the roof. Didn't even bother concealing my presence as I sprint through the glossy hallways. But she's nowhere. Not in the bathrooms, not in the cafeteria. Out of habit, I fling open the door to the locker 713. But there's no misty ethereal portal on the other side, and there's no Violet. There's only dust. I practically throw myself into the front door of Violet's house, screaming out her name in the process. But it's as empty as it's been all summer. My chest swells with a dense, anxious feeling as I dash back outside. I don't get it. If Violet wasn't at the beach, then this should have been the next more realistic place for her to be, right? Frustrated, I check the mailbox for Ashton's letters and make my way back out. But it is, of course, empty. I frantically knock on the front door, hoping every bit the Violet answers. Right. Judith, a true domestic goddess, is right where I assumed she'd be. So that's consistent, at least. Oliver, you're here early. Is it because of... No, it's not, because Ash left town. Quick, I don't have a lot of time. Have you seen Violet today? No, I haven't. Most of us been texting Emil about what happened. Crap. Overseer, could you two put aside your bullshit and hang out here for a bit? Our bullshit? Yes, Judy. Your mutual, very real, not important at all bullshit. Violet could be in serious danger. I don't know exactly what's happening, but if Ash disappeared, then so could she. So please, if you see Violet, just keep her safe, all right? After my pleas, Judith, hospitable whatever, drops the clueless act and speaks candidly. Of course, Oliver, whatever you want. If I run into her, I'll do my part to make sure she's safe. Assuming. Cool, great, thank you, goodbye. I give Judith a reassuring thumbs up before sprinting to the sidewalk. That's right. Emma was at the beach, and he should be at the library. There isn't a very real chance Violet would be here instead. I look over where Emma would normally have been waiting for me. um... And sure enough, there she is, sitting in Emma's normal spot, calm as moonlight. She's thumbing over pages of a dusty-looking book, most likely one she just pulled off the shelf. Seeing her peaceful reading as if things were normal as ever fills me with bizarre, almost spiritual rage. Where have you been? Oliver, you're shouting. We're in a library. Keep it down. I was shouting? I didn't realize. Right, sorry about that. I just got a little worked up. As I move closer, Violet finally looks up from her book. Surprised I'm out of the beach, right? How strange is a small change of routine result such an incendiary greeting from my lover. You're dysregulated, right? That's the term for it, right? Jeez, sounds so clinical when you say it out loud like that. I know she's pride has no reason to, but I can't help but feeling Violet is mocking me somehow. Still, I table that feeling and take a deep, meditative breath, attempting to collect my thoughts. I was just worried about you. Because Ashton went to college? And you didn't know where I was, so you assumed something similar or worse happened to me, correct? A perfectly understandable conclusion. Violet pulls a red slip paper from her back pocket and hands it to me. But as you can see, I'm doing just peachy. So you don't need to worry anymore. Nothing good will come from panicking at all. I read over the copy of Ashton's letter slowly, combing over the words for anything distinct. However, Violet asked me what sort of things I want out of a relationship. It was kind of a big question, so I asked her if I could just write down what I thought and give it to her later. Not only did she not give me shit for that, but she told me she'd also write down what she wants as well. Amazing. Why doesn't everybody do things this way? It seems easier. Like if things are written down, then they're much more real than a couple of vague sounding flying through the air. Sounds way more real. Violet called my list easy and cute. She said it was already stuff she was planning on doing with me anyway. I guess I mostly just went to keep hanging out with her like I have been, but with some more of this new stuff she's been doing thrown in too. I guess that's easy, but I don't get why it's cute. It doesn't seem cute. She asked me why I didn't put sex on my list. I told her I didn't know if we were allowed to write it down. Then she said something about how the fact I thought about writing it down was good enough. Good enough? I'm writing down her list, just in case I lose the original. I want to go on more walks, just us. Can we have a cat at some point? Don't worry about me being a vegetarian. Eat your meat. Hug me in public. Sex doesn't have to be public. Fun nicknames. Let me take off my helmet sometimes. Catch me if I fall, if you're able to. If I die, don't wait up. Go with Judith. There are some landmines thrown in there, for sure. I asked her that last one. She said, "You like her too, right?" I never thought spoken words could carry that much power. Now all I can think about is, I'm busy and stupid here. Is it stupid for me to be with someone who knows me this well? Or is it more stupid for me not to? I guess there's only one way to know for sure. It's no different from Emil's, no different at all. I don't get it. What does this mean? It means he went to college, Oliver. I wouldn't overthink it too much. Ashton was probably already ready to move on, and that's what he did. It's not like there was anything left to challenge him in Siren's call, right? So why wouldn't he leave? And Ashton's letter back to Violet, who gingerly places it in her back pocket. I just didn't think he'd be that kind of guy to do something like that. I thought he wanted to keep on living here, Keep on working with his dad, keep working, hang out with his friends. I mean, I'm sure that's probably what he wanted. But doesn't that sound a bit too predictable for someone like Ashton? Might be fulfilling enough for a year or two, but sure. But then what? I can't imagine him being satisfied with that kind of life for long. Violet clearly doesn't seem upset. One of her closest friends just left without saying goodbye. And she doesn't even seem fazed by it. You knew this was going to happen, didn't you? I had a feeling, yeah. How? Did Ashton tell you beforehand? Nope. Like I said, I had a feeling. People can't avoid what they need forever. And Ashton definitely is the kind of man that needed to get the hell out of Dodge. Everything about this, even right down to how he felt, was inevitable. And I don't blame him for it in the slightest. After all, there was nothing left in Siren's call that he needed to protect. Isn't that right, college boy? Violet pats down on my head, messing with my hair in the process. Would you cut that out? I push her playful hand away from my body. Look, Emil is actually pretty devastated right now, right? I don't think I've ever seen him so blindsided. Even if Ashton really didn't want to stick around, I'm kind of worried about how Emil's going to manage without him. Oh? You think so? What makes you so sure you didn't know Ashton was going to leave in the first place? Didn't Emil straight up lie to you back on the beach? What did you just say? What? Emil lied to you on the beach, didn't he? Why would he lie to you unless there was something he's trying to cover up? Wait, you didn't notice? Well, you might not have noticed, but your brain absolutely did. Violet lets out a mischievous giggle. Violet, that's a pretty rotten thing to say. You weren't even there. Emil was completely freaking out. He was way too desperate for my help to do something like that. So there's no way. Emil, he didn't lie to me. Nope, he definitely did. Whether you're able to remember exactly what he lied to you about is fairly moot, however. The point is, he lied, even if you weren't aware of it, which means what Ashton did probably wasn't too much of a surprise for good old Emil. I bet they all knew something like this was going to happen too. It's likely not just me. I'd even go as far as to wager this is why Ashton didn't tell any of us in the first place. After all, You can't be talked out of leaving if you leave before anybody else can even notice. Isn't that right, Oliver? Okay. Come on, Vi, you're not making any sense. How do you even know we were on the beach? Did you meet up with Emma beforehand? No, Oliver. You're overthinking things again. The truth is much simpler than that. Of course, Emma would be at the beach. Isn't he normally here at the library? It's a basic deductive reasoning. I'm here, so naturally he met with you at the beach instead. I don't understand. Again, you might not understand, but your brain does. Just trust me on this. I'm trying to help you after all. You're not like the rest of us. It's important that you're able to formulate an idea as to what might happen next. Otherwise, you'll end up becoming too stressed to function. And then you'll probably never be able to leave. Violet, you're scaring me. What the hell are you even talking about? Oliver, if everybody else was planning on convincing Ashton to stay in Siren's call, then there's a pretty good chance they'll attempt the same thing with you as well. They're going to try and manipulate you just like how Emma was manipulating you at the beach. They'll use whatever methods they can to pull you back down to their level, like crabs in a bucket. Then again, who knows what they'll actually end up doing? Knowing them, it could be anything. And we're dead. The way Violet's speaking is nauseating. Every word she says seems to root itself in the stomach, coiling up through like the grapevine. Yeah, it's a feeling of betrayal, abandonment, and the fact that you trust people as people you feel you could, be safe around to all of a sudden be a source of danger. I instinctively buckle, kneeling over a child on the floor in front of her. Oh, you're dysregulated again, aren't you? Is that the word for how I've been feeling lately? That makes sense. I'm feeling pretty strange myself. Not gonna lie. Maybe it's just because of all these books. But I feel like even being here is sculpting my brain into something brilliant. Is this what Emil feels like when he's here, is it? Oh well, who knows how other people feel. Am I right? Please stop talking, Violet. Please. Go back to how you should be. Hey, I know. Maybe we should take a break, give ourselves some time to rest and whatnot. She bends down and cups the side of my damp face with her overwhelming soft hands. Please, stop touching me. Please. What do you think about that, college boy? It is this moment that my brain boils over completely, as if Violet's palms were glazed with some sort of deadly neurotoxin. The last thing I see are the fluorescent lights of a public library. The ideal archetype for sensory hell. Pizza? Okay. Are there less crabs now? I feel like some of the crabs have gone. The title of this is interesting. Also, damn. I'm not the only one who finds this picture sexy, right? They, I bet they did that on purpose. Having the picture so close so you can see the similarity. It's the same fucking posture, just much different result. Okay. I do have to go to bed. My friend breaks bottles over her muscles, as if she could become the jagged floor, and make a better home beneath her skin. To understand her rash and loud attempts at saying, "I am fine, I am strong," is to know the nagging fear that follows childhood, the deer tick gorged on her blood, the pressure of weakness. Ah, I guess it's time to go? Okay, leave home is not an option, so I guess we have to do the other things. You have one new message, Oliver. First and only message. Hey there, Oliver. It's Mom. Violet's mom, obviously. Calling to know as of late, Violet hasn't been using her phone as much as she should. Normally, she at least texts me after she's taken her meds, but I've received nothing for about a day or two. I don't know why she's deviating from a routine like this, but it's unacceptable. And I don't just mean for her. Olive, dear, you are aware that I didn't permit you to live with my daughter for the sole reason of bolstering your own vain romantic interests. I picked you because I assumed you were the best person for the job. If I'm not there, then you need to do your part in keeping her on track. I understand the impulse to be young and stupid, but I have these systems in place for a reason. And if you're not going to protect her, then what good are you? Look, don't worry about calling me back. I'll likely be en route by the time you get this message. Just make sure she doesn't hit her head, and we're fine. And for fuck's sake, have her do the dishes when we walk through that door. The girl cooks way too much for her own good. End of message. Delete message. Press 9. Violet's silver brick of a cell phone sits atop her desk. She's taken another step in isolating herself, it seems. That, or she just forgot to grab it on her way out the door. Either way, I won't force it upon her. I won't force anything upon her. Even back in high school, she never forced me to get one of these things. Hey, quit bugging me about it. Sometimes it needs to be alone. Olive's just like that. Doesn't mean he hates us, obviously. Damn it, Violet. Never could imagine that's all it would take for me to love someone. Guess I'm easy like that. Cell phones are nothing but a point of access. And without a point of access, everyone's pretty much just assumes the worst. So what if we're to drift, to float, to a point no one else could touch me and slip away? Would anything really change? Would all the stuff I left on land with my friends suddenly lose meaning? Did Violet want to drift away from us, or are we simply the ones that pushed her into the ocean? I hate these things so much, but I love my friends way more than that. And real love cannot exist without compromise. But being planted in social situations at the drop of a hat like that, is my brain strong enough to handle such a great comprise? And if not, then how the hell can I say I'm worthy of friends in the first place? How can I say I'm worthy of love? The cell phone, an efficient tool for an efficient world. Rockets for astronauts, test tubes for chemists. Let's make a test. It should not skip anything. Did it? Okay, so skip function does work incorrectly. I wonder if I had checked that before the voicemail, if it would let me look at the rest of the house. Why is your house in the ocean? I mean, it actually makes sense for the crab bucket to be in the ocean because, you know, it's where crabs are. Judith's house up here. Park's up here. Library's up here. The safest place. High school. Frustrated face. Okay, they're just like fucking shuffling? Make way over the beach, hoping to find Violet in a good mood. Thankfully, she's in her normal spot, painting something on one of our larger canvases. Anyway, I have to go to bed. I need to go to sleep. Granted, I don't really feel like I'm about to pass out in any way, but I do need to go to bed. And I can't put it off. I mean, I need to go to sleep. So, let's check out the... Probably need a guide to find all the missing pictures. Hey, Violet? There's only one. There only is a brief pause in her brushstrokes before she resumed painting. Hi, thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here. You comfortable? About as much as I can be, you? About the same. I guess I'm not really myself when I'm away from the beach. I've been quite attached to this place, it seems. But Siren's Call isn't like that, is it? Whenever you just kind of bleeds into you and makes you its home. Violet buries her feet in the sand like a crab hiding from the train. I'm gonna hide from the rain inside the sand. Makes you wonder if it's even possible to leave. Well, Ashton left, so why can't you? Are you sure about that? Sure about what? Violet cleans her paintbrush off in a cup of murky black water before coating it once more in a thick red paint. Never mind. We're here for now, that's what matters. Is there anything in particular you need, though? Not really, just felt the ocean calling out to me today. Don't mind if I hang out for a bit? I'd love nothing more. Please stay as long as you need to. Alright, got promises to keep, gotta head out. Kidokes, do what you need to do. Dream big out there, alright? I'll see you back at the house. The ever-teleporting house. What was the little flash? Why is this one like a dark purple? Are, are we in an episode of Seinfeld? Judith and I are watching a movie together, normal, while snacking on powdered macaroons. It is so freaking good, Judith. What's your secret? How does he keep making these things so consistently delicious? Judith giggles in her typical way. Oh, Oliver, don't you know that flattery will get you everywhere? I actually dislike the sitcom noises. There's no secret. Baking isn't even that hard. Are we becoming like a fucking TV show? The key to consistent baking is simply understanding how the ingredients interact with each other. Thankfully, sugar and almond flour aren't that complicated. It's not like real people where you have to pretty much guess what their reactions are going to be, right? Consistent baking is nothing more than simple chemistry. And I'm sure you know chemistry is something I am very, very good at. Judith grabs her dark brown macaroon off the table and moves it toward my lips. My mouth cannot help but open under such light pressure, and she slowly pushes the cookie in with her index finger. Speaking of chemistry, did you know while eating chocolate feels so intoxicating, it triggers dopamine? There's actually a chemical distinction that gives it a pretty clear competitive advantage over those sweets. And what might that be? Judith smiles, taking a gentle bite out of one of my unfinished cookies. Simply put, chocolate is an aphrodisiac. An afro what? She bursts out laughing and puts the cookie down on the table, sliding her way into my ear process. It means it makes you want to fuck. Makes sense, doesn't it? Why? Feelings like love and lust are nothing more than chemicals, after all. And I'm very good at chemistry, Oliver. Very, very good. Andy and I are running down the sidewalk like normal, breathing the damp Florida air into our exhausted bodies. You're getting slower lately, aren't you? Run like you mean it, Scrub. Run like your life depends on it. She's been especially cruel today. For some reason, it's really starting to get on my nerves. I'm obviously trying my best, Andy. Cool already. We'll get back to the park soon enough, just like we always do. Andy faces me, her lungs pushing against the membrane of her chest like pistons of a well-tuned engine. It's only after standing perfectly still that it becomes obvious to me what an imposing figure she is. Even so, she's acting like a brat. I won't be intimidated. Like we always do, huh? Nope, today's going to be different. Today, we're going hard. No, we're not, Andy. It's my last day in town. We're not changing things up. I'm calling it Captain's Orders. Freaking wrong. And briskly walks over to an old wooden table that was left on the side of the road. After a deep breath, she shatters it to bits with one decisive blow. Jesus Christ, Andy, what the hell? You clearly need some motivation, so that's what I'm going to give you. Start running, Oliver. She picks up a chunk of wood from the shattered remains of the table and waves it over her head. She can't be serious. Here I come. Well, this is very terrible. Oh crap, she's serious. Holy shit, holy shit. I practically trip over myself sprinting away from Andy. After only a minute, I'm going as hard as I possibly can. It becomes obvious that she'll eventually catch up to me if I keep running in a straight line. Without even really thinking, I make a sharp left and climb over a chain link fence into someone's front yard. Not funny, Andy. This is mutiny, you know. I don't care. How else am I supposed to know if you're prepared or not? I push myself over another fence, unapologetically dashing through the backyard after backyard. Thumb wrestling contest? I don't know. Just leave me alone. I can't. I need to know if you can handle something like this. Please, I need you to keep running. Show me that you're strong enough to leave. I'm too tired to continue to utter more, so I convert all my remaining energy into moving forward. Eventually, I reach a metal wall that's clearly too large for me to jump over. I leap as high as I possibly can in my hands, but I begin clawing my way up. I begin to feel something slam against the base of my spine. And we're dead. But I don't understand. She was still too far away. Did she throw that chunk of wood at me? The pain is so intense that my hands give out completely. I fall to the ground, land directly on my back, pushing almost all the air out of my lungs. Annie stands over me, a disappointed look silhouetting her face. You failed. Now any number of terrible things could happen to you, Oliver. What's to stop me from killing you in cold blood right now? What's to stop me from drugging you, dragging you back to the basement and torturing you for weeks and weeks until your mind shatters like a damn china doll? You weren't strong enough to live. Now you belong to nature. And nature belongs to me. But I don't want you to die like that. Why? Why do you have to be so selfish, Oliver? Why don't you care about living? Why don't you fight back? Why? Why am I so bad at my job? Why? 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 Well, that was terrible. Why are you looking happy at your burnt cookies? Oh, I was just here. I'm getting confused because Okay, we need to... I need to go to bed. It's just the fact that they keep jumbling everything. That's kind of confusing. I really do need to go to bed. Okay, later, guys. I gotta go to bed. We'll resume this at some point. Later.